How does a nation, arguably the most isolated on the planet, crushed beneath the weight of thousands of crippling international sanctions, manage to sustain a highly sophisticated nuclear program and host multi-billion-dollar military parades? To the casual observer, the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, commonly known as North Korea, appears to be a nation perpetually standing on the precipice of total economic collapse. Images of empty highways, crumbling infrastructure, and historical famines dominate the global narrative. Yet, the reality is far more complex and infinitely more unsettling than the standard geopolitical consensus suggests. Beneath the veneer of an impoverished, failing state and hidden safely behind a literal and ideological iron curtain, there exists a massive, highly efficient, and incredibly resilient money-making machine. This is not the economy of factories and free market capitalism. It is a shadow economy, a sprawling, clandestine financial network that stretches from the deepest, most secure server rooms in Pyongyang to the darkest, most remote international waters. Today, we are going to strip away the traditional political rhetoric. We are not here to debate ideologies, treaties, or UN resolutions. Instead, we are going to act as financial detectives, decoding exactly how the Hermit Kingdom generates the billions of dollars required to maintain its ruling elite, fund its sprawling military, and develop an arsenal of intercontinental ballistic missiles and nuclear warheads. Welcome to Omni Power. To understand how North Korea survives, we must first unlearn everything we know about how modern economies function. Traditional nations rely on gross domestic product, GDP, exports of consumer goods, foreign direct investment, and taxation of a bustling domestic workforce. North Korea does, of course, have a domestic economy, largely based on state-run agriculture and limited light industry. However, these legitimate sectors are not what fuel the upper echelons of the regime's ambitions. When the Soviet Union collapsed in the early 1990s, North Korea lost its primary benefactor and its most reliable source of subsidized oil, heavy machinery, and economic support. The decade that followed, known in North Korea as the Arduous March, was a period of devastating famine. During this time, it became glaringly obvious to the leadership in Pyongyang that they could no longer rely on the traditional global trade system to survive. If they were to maintain the Kim family dynasty and defend their sovereignty, they would have to become entirely self-sufficient in the most unconventional ways imaginable. This necessity birthed the shadow economy. It transformed the entire nation into a multifaceted enterprise capable of generating illicit revenue through whatever means necessary. The regime realized that if it played by the rules of the international community, it would be starved out of existence. Therefore, it chose to operate outside the bounds of international law, utilizing its highly centralized and authoritarian structure to establish a global illicit enterprise. Every level of the North Korean government, military, and diplomatic corps was repurposed to serve this economic machine. Embassies became hubs for smuggling, diplomats became couriers for illicit goods, and state-owned enterprises were rewired to funnel their profits directly to the leadership. The shadow economy is not a side project or a temporary survival tactic for North Korea. It is the fundamental lifeblood of the regime. Without these billions of dollars generated in the dark, the state would not be able to pay the military elite, maintain the loyalty of the ruling class, or import the prohibited materials necessary for its nuclear ambitions. It is a system built on adaptation, deceit, and an unparalleled ability to exploit the cracks in the global financial and regulatory systems. Over the course of this documentary, we will break down the exact pillars of this empire. We will look at the secretive government organs, the digital frontiers, the high seas deception, and the traditional export markets that keep the Hermit Kingdom afloat. The scale of this operation will astound you, revealing a level of sophistication that the international intelligence community has been fighting to comprehend for decades. To truly understand the flow of money in and out of North Korea, we must trace it back to a single, highly secretive, and immensely powerful organization, Office 39, also frequently referred to as Room 39. Established in the late 1970s by the founding father of the nation, Kim Il-sung, this is not a traditional government ministry or a conventional regulatory body. It is the ultimate black box of state finance, a clandestine slush fund designed specifically to secure foreign currency for the leadership and bypass international economic embargoes. Office 39 operates completely outside the oversight of the North Korean parliament, the general public, and, most importantly, international law. Its primary mandate is to generate, manage, and protect the slush fund used to ensure the survival of the regime and fund the personal lifestyle of the ruling family. The organization sits at the very center of a complex web of shell companies, front organizations, and illicit enterprises that span the globe. How does an organization like Office 39 generate revenue? The answer is as diverse as it is illegal. Historically, one of the most lucrative sectors under the purview of Office 39 has been the export of high-value natural resources and agricultural products. North Korea is rich in minerals, including coal, iron, ore, zinc, gold, and importantly, rare earth elements that are crucial for modern electronics and green technology. Despite United Nations sanctions explicitly banning or severely restricting the export of these minerals, Office 39 has mastered the art of extraction and covert export, often utilizing heavily fortified mining operations that rely on forced or cheap labor. In addition to minerals, the organization oversees the production and export of high-quality agricultural and consumer goods. North Korean ginseng, a highly sought-after commodity in East Asia for its medicinal properties, is aggressively marketed and exported by Office 39 front companies to generate foreign currency. Similarly, the organization has been linked to the large-scale production and export of gold and other precious metals, often laundering them through neighboring countries to disguise their origin before they are sold on the international open market. But the reach of Office 39 extends far beyond the physical borders of North Korea. One of its most famous and uniquely visible operations is the global chain of Pyongyang-themed restaurants. Scattered across various countries, primarily in Southeast Asia, South Asia, and parts of Eastern Europe, these restaurants serve traditional North Korean cuisine, featuring staff and entertainers who are directly dispatched from North Korea. While they operate as legitimate dining establishments, intelligence agencies widely recognize these restaurants as key revenue generators and money laundering hubs for Office 39. They provide a steady stream of hard currency and serve as convenient bases for North Korean intelligence operatives to conduct surveillance, network with local business figures, and facilitate other illicit transactions. Perhaps the most sophisticated and alarming operation attributed to Office 39 and its associated agencies is the large-scale counterfeiting of foreign currency. In the intelligence and law enforcement communities, this is known as the supernote. North Korea has long been accused of producing near-flawless, high-quality counterfeit United States $100 bills. These are not crude photocopies. They are produced using specialized printing presses, high-grade intaglio ink, and the correct paper stock, making them virtually indistinguishable from genuine currency to the naked eye. Even the most advanced financial scanners and ATMs have, at times, struggled to detect these sophisticated fakes. The production of supernotes allows North Korea to inject illicit cash directly into the global financial system, effectively creating billions of dollars out of thin air. These counterfeit bills are typically distributed through a network of diplomats, overseas agents, and organized crime syndicates, allowing North Korea to purchase sanctioned goods, fund its embassies, and finance its covert operations without ever having to rely on the legitimate conversion of its own domestic currency, the North Korean won, which is largely useless on the international market. Office 39 also oversees various illicit trades that defy moral and legal boundaries. Historically, this has included the production and distribution of narcotics, particularly high-purity methamphetamine. Operating in state-run laboratories, North Korea has been accused of manufacturing vast quantities of drugs, which are then smuggled across borders by state operatives and international criminal gangs, flooding markets in East Asia and beyond. The profits from these illegal activities flow directly back into the coffers of Office 39, providing a vital injection of hard currency. The true genius of Office 39 lies in its organizational structure. It operates a vast, decentralized network of thousands of subsidiary companies, trading corporations, and financial institutions located in strategic jurisdictions around the world. These front companies are designed to obfuscate the true ownership of assets and the ultimate destination of profits. When international regulators investigate a suspicious transaction or a suspected North Korean front company, they often find themselves caught in a labyrinth of shell corporations. By the time a company is sanctioned or shut down, Office 39 has already established new entities in different countries, utilizing new names and new directors to continue their operations uninterrupted. This financial brain trust ensures that no matter how tightly the international community tightens the noose around the official North Korean economy, the leadership in Pyongyang always has access to liquid capital. The funds generated by Office 39 are the very foundation of the Kim regime's power. They are used to reward loyalty among the elite, to finance lavish construction projects designed to project strength and stability, and, critically, to import the dual-use technology and materials required to advance their ballistic missile and nuclear programs. Without Office 39, the sophisticated machinery of the North Korean state would grind to a halt. While traditional smuggling, counterfeiting, and resource extraction form the bedrock of North Korea's historical economic strategy, the regime has proven to be incredibly adaptable to the modern era. As the global economy transitioned into the digital age, North Korea recognized a new, highly lucrative frontier that required no physical shipping lanes, no raw material exports, and no bulky cargo. They turned their attention to cyberspace. In the modern geopolitical landscape, North Korea is often viewed as an underdeveloped, economically isolated nation. However, this perception masks a highly sophisticated and dangerous reality. North Korea possesses a formidable cyber warfare and financial crime apparatus. Realizing they could not compete militarily or economically with the industrialized world in a conventional sense, they identified cyberspace as the ultimate equalizer. Here, an isolated nation with limited resources could inflict massive damage and generate billions of dollars in revenue without ever crossing a physical border. The vanguard of this digital empire is a shadowy hacking syndicate widely known to the global cybersecurity and intelligence community as the Lazarus Group. While the North Korean government officially denies any involvement in cybercrime, cybersecurity researchers and Western governments have conclusively linked this group to the primary intelligence agency of North Korea, the Reconnaissance General Bureau, RGB. The Lazarus Group is not a disorganized collective of amateur hackers. It is a highly trained, state-sponsored cyber army, operating with the full backing and resources of the Pyongyang regime. The operations conducted by the Lazarus Group are staggering in their scale, ambition, and technical proficiency. They have targeted a wide array of institutions, including defense contractors, media organizations, critical infrastructure, and, most notably, the global financial system. One of the most infamous examples of their capabilities occurred in 2016 when the Lazarus Group targeted the Central Bank of Bangladesh. The hackers managed to breach the bank's security systems and gain access to the SWIFT messaging network, which is used by financial institutions worldwide to securely transmit information and instructions. Using this access, the hackers sent fraudulent messages attempting to transfer nearly $1 billion from Bangladesh Bank's account at the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. While the vast majority of the transactions were ultimately blocked due to suspicious spelling errors and other red flags, the Lazarus Group successfully transferred tens of millions of dollars to accounts in the Philippines, which were then quickly laundered through channels like casinos before disappearing. This audacious heist demonstrated that North Korean hackers had the capability to penetrate some of the most secure financial networks in the world, transferring staggering sums of money directly into the hands of the regime. But as the world shifted towards the digital economy, North Korean hackers pivoted their focus from traditional banking systems to a much more lucrative, less heavily regulated frontier: cryptocurrencies. The rise of digital assets like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and various other cryptocurrencies created a perfect storm for North Korea. These assets are decentralized, can be transferred across the globe in seconds, and, if handled correctly, offer a degree of anonymity that traditional banking simply cannot match. The Lazarus Group and other state-sponsored North Korean entities began aggressively targeting cryptocurrency exchanges, initial coin offerings, ICOs, and decentralized finance, DeFi, protocols around the world. Over the past decade, North Korean hackers have been linked to the theft of billions of dollars in digital assets. They achieve this through a variety of sophisticated methods, including spear phishing campaigns, where hackers send fraudulent emails to employees of cryptocurrency exchanges to gain access to their networks, as well as the deployment of custom malware and advanced social engineering tactics. Once the hackers breach an exchange, they quickly siphon off vast amounts of cryptocurrency, moving the stolen assets through a complex web of unhosted wallets and decentralized mixing services to obscure their origin. These stolen funds are then converted into traditional fiat currencies through various illicit networks and funneled back to North Korea, providing the regime with a massive, untraceable stream of revenue. For Pyongyang, cryptocurrency theft has become one of the most vital tools for funding its nuclear weapons and ballistic missile programs, allowing them to bypass traditional financial sanctions entirely. However, North Korea's cyber operations are not limited to high-profile heists and cryptocurrency theft. The regime has also established a massive, covert network of IT workers operating across the globe. Estimates suggest that thousands of North Korean software developers, web designers, and IT specialists operate under false identities in various countries, primarily located in East Asia, Southeast Asia, and Eastern Europe. These workers secure legitimate freelance contracts on global platforms, often hiding their true nationalities by using forged passports, proxy servers, and stolen identities. They work for unsuspecting clients around the world, undertaking software development, website design, and mobile app creation. The vast majority of the income generated by these thousands of workers, which amounts to millions of dollars annually, is then siphoned off and sent directly back to the North Korean government, often through a network of brokers and illicit financial channels. For the regime, this creates a steady, reliable stream of foreign currency that leaves virtually no digital fingerprint. It allows North Korea to monetize the technical skills of its educated workforce without them ever having to set foot on North Korean soil or interact directly with foreign governments. Cyberspace, therefore, represents the ultimate mintage for North Korea, a golden mine that cannot be blockaded by naval vessels, a revenue stream that cannot be seized by international regulators, and a weapon that allows them to strike at the heart of the global economy from thousands of miles away. While cyberspace offers a modern, high-tech method for generating wealth, North Korea still relies heavily on the physical movement of goods to sustain its economy, power its industry, and fuel its military. The United Nations Security Council has imposed sweeping sanctions on North Korea, explicitly banning the export of key commodities like coal, iron, and seafood, and drastically restricting the import of refined petroleum products and crude oil. These sanctions were designed to cripple the North Korean economy and force the regime to abandon its nuclear ambitions. On paper, these embargoes appear devastating. But in reality, the global maritime trade is vast, complex, and incredibly difficult to monitor. North Korea has developed a highly sophisticated and brazen series of maritime tactics to ensure that the flow of goods into and out of the country never truly stops. They have become masters of maritime evasion, utilizing a shadowy network of ships, front companies, and deceptive practices to bypass the international blockade. One of the primary tactics employed by North Korea is known as ship-to-ship transferring. United Nations satellites and international intelligence agencies frequently monitor the seas around the Korean Peninsula and the broader Indo-Pacific region. They have documented numerous instances of suspicious vessels, often referred to as ghost ships, engaging in illicit trade. Under the cover of darkness or in the remote, unmonitored expanses of international waters, these ships will rendezvous with tankers from other nations. During these nighttime meetings, large volumes of sanctioned goods, such as coal and petroleum, are pumped directly from one ship to another. The process is designed to be as clandestine as possible. The vessels often turn off their automatic identification systems, AIS, the tracking transponders that all large commercial ships are required to keep broadcasting for safety and monitoring purposes. By going dark, these ships effectively vanish from international radar, allowing them to conduct illegal transactions without alerting maritime authorities. Once the transfer is complete, the North Korean vessel, or the intermediary ship, will transport the goods to various international ports. To further disguise the origin of the cargo, the networks orchestrating these trades rely on a dizzying array of deceptive shipping practices. This includes the physical altering of a ship's appearance, such as painting over its name and registration number, or flying the flags of different nations to confuse authorities, a practice known as flagging. Furthermore, these networks manipulate shipping documentation and bills of lading. The coal or oil being transported is often falsely labeled as originating from a different country, or its true nature is obscured by vague terminology. This deceit allows the cargo to enter legitimate ports around the world, where it is sold on the open market, generating crucial revenue for Pyongyang. The logistics behind these maritime operations are managed by a complex web of shell companies and international brokers. A single North Korean flag vessel might be owned by a front company in a tax haven, managed by a shell corporation in another country, and insured by yet another entity. When international regulators manage to identify and sanction a specific vessel, the network simply renames the ship, registers it under a new shell company, and continues its illicit operations with minimal interruption. These ghost ship tactics are not limited to exporting North Korean coal. They are equally vital for importing the refined petroleum products and crude oil that the nation desperately needs to function. Because North Korea lacks significant domestic oil reserves, it relies almost entirely on imports to power its military, agricultural sector, and transportation networks. Without a steady supply of oil, the country's economy would quickly grind to a halt, and the military would be unable to conduct drills or maintain its arsenal. To circumvent the strict caps placed on oil imports by the United Nations, North Korea's maritime networks employ the exact same ship-to-ship transfer tactics. Tankers carrying oil from foreign ports will meet with smaller, North Korean flag vessels in international waters, discharging their cargo and ensuring that the Hermit Kingdom receives the lifeblood required to sustain its regime. Additionally, North Korea has developed a highly profitable underground network to procure banned items, such as luxury goods, which are strictly prohibited under international trade bans. These high-end commodities, ranging from premium vehicles and smartphones to expensive timepieces and rare spirits, serve a vital political purpose. The leadership in Pyongyang distributes them as prestigious rewards to ensure the unwavering compliance of top military brass, high-ranking party officials, and the inner political circle. The very same logistics networks that manipulate the clandestine transfers of coal and petroleum are dual-purpose to slip these prestige products across borders, taking full advantage of hidden cargo compartments and convoluted transit routes through cooperative global hubs. The sheer scale and persistence of these maritime operations highlight a significant flaw in the international sanctions regime. While the laws are strict, the capacity of the international community to monitor and enforce them on the high seas is inherently limited. The oceans are vast, and the resources required to track every suspicious vessel, intercept every illicit transfer, and identify every deceptive shell company are immense. North Korea exploits this weakness, turning the global maritime system into a vast, decentralized smuggling network that sustains the state and directly funds its nuclear ambitions. While North Korea has proven itself to be highly innovative in the digital realm and on the high seas, The regime has also maintained and expanded several highly traditional, low-tech methods to generate foreign revenue. In its quest for economic survival, the state has recognized that its most abundant and easily monetized resource is its own population. For decades, North Korea has operated a massive, state-sponsored program of exporting labor to various countries around the world. Tens of thousands of North Korean citizens are dispatched to work in foreign nations, primarily in sectors that require intensive, grueling, and often dangerous physical labor. These workers can be found in the logging camps of the Russian Far East, the construction sites of the Middle East, the textile and garment factories of China and Southeast Asia, and various other industries across the globe. The mechanics of this labor export program are tightly controlled by the North Korean government and are designed to maximize the extraction of foreign currency from these workers. The laborers are typically selected through a rigorous screening process, ensuring they are loyal to the regime and often leaving family members behind in North Korea as a guarantee against defection. Once abroad, they live in highly regimented, isolated conditions, often sequestered in dormitories and heavily monitored by state security agents. The wages earned by these workers are not paid directly to them in full. Instead, the vast majority of their salaries, often ranging from 70% to 90%, is confiscated by the North Korean government under the guise of state contributions, taxes, and fees. The workers receive only a small fraction of their earnings to cover basic living expenses, while millions of dollars in hard currency are funneled directly into the state's coffers, specifically into the accounts of the ruling regime. This system effectively turns North Korean citizens into a lucrative export commodity. It provides the state with a steady, reliable stream of foreign currency that is not subject to the fluctuations of the global market or the volatility of cybercrime. The host countries, eager for cheap labor to fuel their own industries, often overlook the human rights implications and the UN resolutions designed to curb this practice, creating a situation where the exploitation of North Korean workers serves as a vital economic lifeline for the Pyongyang regime. In addition to the exploitation of human capital, North Korea has long relied on another traditional and highly dangerous pillar of its shadow economy: the global trade in conventional weapons and military technology. Despite being subjected to some of the most comprehensive arms embargoes in modern history, North Korea has managed to maintain a vast, clandestine network of weapons production and distribution. The North Korean military-industrial complex is immense, capable of producing a wide array of conventional weaponry, ranging from assault rifles, ammunition, and artillery shells to more advanced systems like ballistic missiles, anti-aircraft systems, and mini submarines. Because the North Korean military itself is transitioning to more advanced, nuclear-capable systems, the regime possesses large stockpiles of older, conventional weapons. These weapons, which are inexpensive to produce and maintain, are highly sought after by various regimes, insurgent groups, and militant organizations in conflict zones around the world. North Korea's arms trade is characterized by its willingness to sell to virtually any buyer, regardless of international condemnation or United Nations sanctions. Over the years, North Korean weapons and military technology have been linked to conflicts and armed groups in the Middle East, Africa, and other volatile regions. The transactions are facilitated by a shadowy network of diplomatic missions, front companies, and international brokers who specialize in navigating the murky waters of the illicit arms trade. The shipments of these weapons are often disguised, utilizing the very same maritime deception tactics discussed earlier. Weapons are hidden in concealed compartments on cargo ships, falsely labeled as innocent commercial goods, and routed through multiple transshipment points to disguise their ultimate destination. Once the weapons reach their buyers, they are paid for in cash, gold, or other valuable commodities, providing North Korea with significant injections of hard currency that directly support the state's military and nuclear programs. Furthermore, North Korea's arms trade extends beyond the mere sale of existing stockpiles. The regime has actively exported its military technology and expertise to other countries. Over the past few decades, Intelligence agencies have documented instances of North Korea assisting other nations in the development of their own ballistic missile programs, nuclear facilities, and chemical weapons infrastructure. This transfer of technical knowledge and specialized equipment represents a highly lucrative, albeit incredibly destabilizing, source of revenue for Pyongyang. By selling both conventional weapons and advanced military technology, North Korea accomplishes several strategic goals simultaneously. Firstly, it generates the billions of dollars in foreign currency required to keep the regime afloat and fund its own nuclear ambitions. Secondly, it allows North Korea to project influence on the global stage, forging alliances with other isolated or anti-Western regimes. Finally, it ensures that the North Korean military-industrial complex remains operational and profitable, sustaining the domestic economy and maintaining the loyalty of the military and scientific elite who oversee the production of these weapons. The combination of massive labor export and a clandestine global arms trade highlights the multifaceted nature of the North Korean shadow economy. The regime does not rely solely on high-tech cyber operations or complex financial maneuvers. It utilizes every resource at its disposal, exploiting both its citizens and its military capabilities to ensure its survival in the face of international pressure. This dual approach of combining traditional exploitation with advanced modern deception makes North Korea one of the most resilient and adaptable economic survivors in the modern world. The shadow economy of North Korea reveals a harsh, uncomfortable, and fascinating truth about modern geopolitics. A nation, when pushed into a corner and subjected to extreme economic pressure, does not simply collapse. Instead, it adapts. It becomes incredibly flexible, endlessly creative, and ruthlessly efficient in its pursuit of survival. What the international community often views as an irrational or failing state is, in reality, a highly sophisticated and resilient entity that has mastered the art of operating in the dark. Over the course of this documentary, we have uncovered the many layers of this clandestine empire. We have seen how Office 39 operates as a clandestine financial brain trust, securing foreign currency through resource extraction, illicit businesses, and the sophisticated counterfeiting of global currencies. We have explored the digital frontier, where North Korean state-sponsored hackers, such as the Lazarus Group, have stolen billions of dollars in cryptocurrency and penetrated the world's most secure financial networks. We have examined the high seas, where North Korean ghost ships utilize ship-to-ship transfers, deceptive flagging, and a maze of shell companies to bypass United Nations sanctions and ensure the continuous flow of coal, oil, and luxury goods. And finally, we have looked at the more traditional pillars of the economy, where the regime generates revenue by exporting tens of thousands of laborers to work in grueling conditions abroad and by selling conventional weapons and military technology to volatile regions across the globe. This sprawling shadow economy is not merely a patchwork of desperate, temporary survival tactics. It is a highly organized, systematic, and foundational strategy that keeps the Hermit Kingdom alive. Every dollar generated by these illicit means serves a single, overarching goal: guaranteeing the survival of the ruling regime and funding its pursuit of becoming a recognized nuclear power. The resilience of this economic system poses a continuous and escalating challenge to international regulatory bodies. As long as vulnerabilities persist within the global financial infrastructure, maritime monitoring systems remain porous, and cryptocurrency regulations contain unaddressed blind spots, clandestine funds will reliably find their way back to Pyongyang. Trade bans, regardless of their strictness, depend entirely on uniform and universal enforcement. Yet, as history has shown, North Korea's networks continuously evolve, staying one step ahead by exploiting structural complexities to establish new logistical pipelines. This adaptability forces a critical reassessment of how state power is defined in the contemporary era. Modern national stability and global influence can no longer be judged solely by transparent economic indicators like a visible GDP or active integration into global free trade networks. True resilience can occasionally reside in a state's proficiency at working within the shadows, orchestrating an alignment of skilled software engineers, manual laborers, and international smuggling syndicates to protect and bankroll core state objectives. The endurance of North Korea's parallel economy demonstrates how a highly centralized administration, wielding absolute internal authority, can build a profoundly contradictory economic structure. It is a system that manages to sustain critical military programs and advanced strategic weapons while remaining structurally isolated from conventional international commerce. This reality reshapes the understanding of how heavily restricted states survive and operate in the modern geopolitical environment. What do you think about North Korea's highly daring, complex, and controversial economic strategy? Can the international community ever truly cut off a nation that has built such an extensive cross-border survival network? Share your thoughts and detailed analysis in the comments section below. We look forward to reading your perspectives on this deeply layered and mysterious topic. If you found this breakdown valuable and want to explore more deep dives into global geopolitics and hidden economic networks, make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. Join us as we continue to decode the world's hidden structures and global power dynamics. I am Omni Power. Thank you for watching until the very end, and we will see you in the next documentary.